Dr. V. Narayanan, Chairman ISRO and Secretary Department of Space. Welcome to you, sir. As we gather here to reflect on one of the most ambitious and inspiring endeavors in India's space exploration journey, the Gaganyaan mission. It's India's first human spaceflight program. Gaganyaan marks a historic leap forward in our scientific and technological capabilities. Spearheaded by the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, this mission aims to send Indian astronauts into low Earth orbit, showcasing our nation's growing prowess in space technology and reaffirming our place among the world's leading space-faring nations. I now invite Dr. V. Narayanan, Chairman ISRO, to give a brief on updates of Gaganyaan mission. Over to you, sir.
Most respected Honorable Minister of State, respected and our beloved Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, and my dear colleagues from ISRO and press, very, very good morning to all of you. Let me formally welcome all of you for this important press meet where it is our great privilege and honor we are having our Honorable Minister with us. Before I go through the updates on the Gaganyaan program, I thought it is appropriate to introduce my senior colleagues to this press team. In fact, a couple of senior colleagues didn't come. I will mention their name a little later. Right now we are having A. Rajarajan. Please get up. A. Rajarajan. He is the chairperson of the Project Management Council for Space Transportation System, which deals with all the rocket and related technologies. And he is also the director of Satish Dhawan Space Center. Then we have got Dr. M. Shankaran. He is the chairperson of the Management Council for Space Infrastructure, dealing with all satellite system. Also, he is the director of the UR Space Center. Then we have got Mr. Mohan. He is the director of the crucial Liquid Propulsion System Center, which has got offices in both in Trivandrum and Bangalore. Then we have got E.S. Batmakumar. He is the director of ISRO Inertial System Unit, which is a crucial unit supplying the inertial system for both satellites and launch vehicle program of ISRO. We have got Mr. Asit Pakiraj. He is leading the ISRO Propulsion Complex near Kanyakumari, where recently even we have a couple of tests, very important tests, we have carried out. We have got D.K. Singh. He is the director of the Human Spaceflight Center. You all know the importance of that center. We have got Dr. K.V. Sriram. He is the director of the LEOs. Really, outstanding work is done, including laser-based systems are coming out from that center. They have supplied a lot of sensors for Chandrayaan 3 and so many programs. We have got A.K. Anil Kumar, who is leading the center, the ISRO ISTRAC, where all the critical activities are happening in the last phase, including Chandrayaan 3, Chandrayaan 2, all the mission that is taking place. We have got Mr. M. Ganesh Pillai. He is the scientific secretary in the ISRO headquarters. We have got Mr. Dr. Jay Kumar. You all know the PSLE today, success after success we are accomplishing. He is the project director of the PSLE program. We have got Subba Rao, who is the mission director of the most prestigious Spadex program. We have got Mr. Surendran, a very able project director of the Spadex. The entire mission is accomplished under his leadership. We have got Veeramuthuvel. He was the Chandrayaan 3. I think he has yet to reach. Okay, fine. He is the Chandrayaan 3 PD. Now he is the Space Infrastructure Program Office Director. We have got Hari Krishnan, who is the Program Director in the headquarters. Then, of course, we have got Raju Jaiswal, who is the face of us in Delhi. I think if minister is happy with us, he is responsible. If minister is not happy also, he is only responsible. Jaiswal is there. Then Anumanda Balrahi, he is handling the program office in our place. Then, of course, we have got Mr. Vinod handling the most prestigious project of the Gaganyaan. We have got Mr. Anrup. He is the program office, program director in headquarters, handling all the launch vehicle related area. Victor Joseph, I don't think he has reached. And I think this is fairly the team which is there, and two senior colleagues, because of very important office activity, they could not reach. One is, you all know, Dr. Unirsun Nair. He is the director of the Mother Center of ISRO, the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. Also, he is the Project Management Council chairman for Gaganyaan program. Unfortunately, his daughter is very sick in the hospital, says he could not come. Otherwise, surely he was supposed to be here. Then Nilesh M. Desai, he is the director of Space Application Center. Very important meeting is going on. A couple of foreigners are there, say he could not come. So these are all the team ISRO. Of course, you all know me, and we all are guided by, ably guided and directed by our Honorable Minister. You all know about him. I need not explain about him. And of course, we are all with Honorable Prime Minister. He has given the direction and guideline and the vision for the Indian space program. Thank you. Shall I go through the presentation, madam? Based on the guideline given by Honorable Minister, we have prepared a couple of slides which will showcase the. Basically, today we want to give you updates on the Gaganyaan program, the Indian human spaceflight program. That is the major target of today's press meet. And you know, the single slide we have given the accomplishment of Indian space activities. Indian space program started in the year 1962. Last 63 years, we have come a long way. And currently, the activities are growing exponentially. It is growing. And we have 4,017 rockets, 6 types of launches we have developed, and we had the successful 100th launch from Sriharikota this year on January 29th. And in the satellite area, 50 years back, April 19th, 1975, we had the first Aryabhatta satellite launch. From that till today, different types of satellites are conceived, and 131 satellites are conceived, built, and placed in the orbit. And the heaviest satellite is the GSAT-11 high-throughput satellite, 6,000 kg satellite. And the startup system is rolled out. There are 2 suborbital flights made by the startup companies. Now, there was a time, 10 years back, only 1 or 2 startup companies were working. Today, around 300 startup companies are working. And if you see the growth last 10 years, for example, you take the launch vehicle. 2005 to 2015, we had 30 launches. And last 10 years, it is double, number is double. That shows the exponential growth. In the area of satellite, 2005 to 15, it was 36 satellites which were built and placed in the orbit. Now we are targeting next 10 years, it is something around 71 numbers, almost double number. And that shows the phenomenal growth. And in addition to that, a country which started the satellite program just 50 years back, and launch vehicle, first launcher was launched only in the year 1980. 433 satellites of 34 countries we have placed in the orbit successfully. And 9 places India has occupied the #1 position in the world. Chandrayaan-1 found water molecules. Chandrayaan-2 is having the best camera in the moon. Mars orbiter mission, first mission which was successfully accomplished in the first attempt by India in the world. And Chandrayaan-3, you all know, August 23rd, 2023 is historical day. We soft landed. India is the only country soft landed near South Pole of Moon. And we have discovered a lot of things through that. And India is the first country which placed more than 100 satellites, 104 satellites through a single rocket in space. And before that, the record was only 37 satellites were placed through a single rocket by Russia. And cryogenic propulsion system, and the Mark III cryogenic propulsion system, we have made 3 world records. Only with 3 engines, we have completed the first mission successfully. And only with 28 months from engine test to flight, we have done the successful mission. And other countries have taken average minimum 34 months to 10 years people have taken. And a stage level test we accomplished in 28 months. Sorry, stage hot test we did in 34 days, and we had made the 3rd world record. And other countries have taken 68 days to 10 months. That is the thing what people have taken. With that, under the honorable leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, today the space sector is growing exponentially high, and he has rolled out the space sector reform, which I will not address. Honorable Minister will address to you in detail. And today, really, the country is growing in the space activities in a great level. Go to the next slide. Coming to this one, I'm so happy and excited that Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji on August 15, 2018, announced the Indian human spaceflight program, Gaganyaan program. I think the words are so excellent words. I quote, an Indian son or daughter will go to space with the national flag in hand, I unquote. This is what he declared on August 15, 2018. And the Gaganyaan program, you all know, it is meant to demonstrate human spaceflight capability to low Earth orbit, taking Indians through Indian launcher to low Earth orbit and bring them back safely. 2 or 3 numbers, it can be decided in due course. And the LVM-3 vehicle is selected for this, and it is human rated. That vehicle will take it to almost 170 kilometers, the entire module where human being, along with human being. From 170 kilometers, it will be taken to 400-kilometer orbit by appropriate systems. From there, after keeping them safely for a couple of days, as per the requirement, they will be brought back safely. Up to 170 kilometers, a propulsion system will be used. Beyond that, 9 parachutes will be used for splashing down in the appropriate location in the sea. And when you see the societal benefit, lot of societal benefits are there. It acts as a catalyst and facilitator for encouraging innovation in Bharat. World-class industries capability, producing zero-defect products will happen. Lot of microgravity experiments will happen. Commercial space exploration is one of the important things. And of course, lot of technology spin-offs, whatever is coming will be useful in other part of the societal application. Coming to the Gaganyaan program, lot of major developments here to make. Human rating of the launch vehicle. Human rating means, in simple terms, improve the margin, increase the redundancies in order to ensure high reliability of the vehicle. So Mark 3 vehicle is undergoing that process. And the vehicle, we have to have integrated health monitoring system, real-time health monitoring, something around 2,000 parameters, synchronized way we monitor to take appropriate actions. And there is an orbital model which has to be developed, in which the human being will be taken safely to the orbit. There is a crew escape system which has to be developed, because whenever during the flight anything happens to the vehicle, we should save our human being, and for that a crew escape system has to be developed. Then there is a environmental control and safety system in order to maintain the required pressure, temperature, humidity, CO2 content, everything. This system is a new system, consists of thousands of components we have to develop. Parachutes, last phase, the parachutes with that they have to land. 9 parachutes have to be developed. And the crew, total training, because earlier we are dealing only with the hardware, now hardware with human interface has to be done. And the crew training and simulation is important activity. Lot of crew-centric products has to be developed. And thermal protection system, when the system comes back, it is subjected to huge heat flux, so thermal protection system. Then we should save the entire system from micrometeoroids, and we have to have protection. And overall mission management, starting from lift-off, taking them safely and keeping them safely and coming back. This is a very complex thing, a set of hardware, software, everything has to work in a very synchronized way, and this has to be developed. I want to tell something, the software is more than 10 lakh line software, which has to be worked in a multiple direction. It has to be developed. And finally, when the crew lands, they have to be safely recovered. Crew recovery operation using a set of systems has to be done. This is not only ISRO program, it is the national program involving defense, DRDO labs, and other labs. It is a national program by itself. Coming to the major accomplishments, you can see this slide shows the major accomplishments, what is done. Human rating of the entire propulsion system and other systems are 95% completed. Something around 7,200 tests are completed. Hot test, cold flow test, structural test, acoustic test, environmental test, electronics related aspect. 7,200 tests we have successfully completed. There are 5 propulsion modules. There is a solid motor, 2 solid motor, there is a liquid stage, L1 stage, there is a cryogenic propulsion system, there is a system taking the people from 170 kilometer to 400 kilometer, and another propulsion system for bringing them from 400 to 170 kilometer down. All the propulsion systems. And in the crew escape system, the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center along with Sriharikota has developed the fast burning solid propulsion system. Everything is successfully tested, qualified. And IISU has developed a biomitra, a half humanoid, for sending in the first mission. That is also undergoing all the final phase of test, maybe couple of days test has to be done, then they will deliver the system. And Padma Kumar, probably later on you can talk to him. Coming to the accomplishments, we have built a new rocket called test vehicle, because the crew escape system, what will happen is when the flight is going at different phases, anything happens, you have to save them. So simulating that condition, we have to do, so a separate exclusive liquid-based vehicle was developed, and we have carried out an important experiment, and some more experiment has to be carried out. Now for demonstrating parachute at deployment, we are developing a vehicle called SOLVE. This vehicle is a solid propellant-based vehicle, and vehicle design is completed. Within 1 month, vehicle will be ready, and we are going to do a couple of tests. And environmental control and safety system, we have to maintain cabin pressure within 98 to 116 kPa, humidity 60 to 70%, temperature 23 plus minus 3 degree, and personal hygienic management has to be maintained. And it's a very complex development. For the first time, we have undertaken this development. I want to say 90% development is completed. We are in the final phase of qualification. Orbital module, it is a pressurized cabin. There are 2 modules. There is a service module and a crew module. This is a very new development. Hardware realization is a very complex process. I think our team has done outstanding work. Couple of photos are shown there, and we are in the final phase of qualification. There are human-centric products like flight suit, space suit, crew seat, and I have put very few things. Lot more are there. Everything is in the advanced stage of development. And to accomplish this type of new mission, we have to build a lot of new infrastructure. You can see there is an orbit module preparation facility. You will get the opportunity to see in the Sriharikota in the appropriate time. Launch pad interfaces, crew evacuation system, and Gaganyaan control center, because when they are in the orbit 24/7, we have to handle, and the control system has to be, control center has to handle. That development is almost in the final phase of completion. And we have selected 4 Gaganyaan 3s. Basically, they are test pilots from Indian Air Force. They were selected. The selection process itself is I think Honorable Prime Minister is the best person who can appreciate this, because he is by profession a doctor. So many tests they have undergone, they are selected, and they have been put through the required training, both in abroad and India, and they are undergoing the final phase of training. And Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji announced them on February 27, 2024. I think their names are written there. Coming to the Gaganyaan mission, we have to accomplish 3 uncrewed missions before targeting the actual crewed mission, because here the life is involved. That's why we have put 3 uncrewed missions. In the expendable launch vehicle, rather, we go directly for the first flight itself. And then followed by, after 3 uncrewed missions, in the first uncrewed mission, the Vayamitra will fly instead of human being, and followed by the 2 crewed missions that is targeted. Now, first uncrewed mission is targeted the last quarter of this year, and the first crewed mission is targeted first quarter of 2027. Coming to the status of the first uncrewed mission, in fact, I want to tell last 5 years, thousands of people throughout the country has worked for this program. And I have put in 2 slides, very difficult to communicate, but what you are seeing is a work of 10,000 people for 4 to 5 years in 1 or 2, one slide rather, 2 slides, only 1 slide, it is written. All propulsive stages are ready today. Stacking of the solid propulsion system is happening in Sriharikota. Directly you can, when you come, you will get the opportunity to see the stacking. All structures are qualified, and crew module and service modules are realized. It is undergoing the final phase of integration and testing. Mechanical and electrical integration, 1,000 kilometers of wires have to be connected, connecting all the system. Everything is done, and it is undergoing the final phase of testing. And right now the integration is in the final phase. Meticulous work is going on. Very systematic work is going on in all centers of ISRO, and we are targeting this launch the last quarter of 2025. Now coming to the Honorable Prime Minister, a visionary leader who has given the guideline for building the Bharatiya Antariksh Station. We will have our own space station by 2035. The first module government of India has given the approval. It is a 5-module construction and 52-ton mass. You know, with the current vehicles, we cannot take it in a single rocket. Nobody will take. Multiple modules it will be taken and it will be docked in space. And the first module will be in space by 2028. As a precursor mission, we have got approval for 3 missions. Honorable Minister was totally with us in guiding us, directing us to get these approvals. And first is a space docking to existing the space station, ISS. We are going to have a space docking experiment. Then we will send the first module of this 5 module by 2028. Then we'll have an experiment with the first module. Once we succeed, we will complete the go ahead, get the approval and complete the entire space station. And you know, for this, the docking is a very, very important thing because you place one module, second module, if it is not getting docked, you are into trouble. So towards that, I'm extremely happy to note that, inform this August audience that we have taken up a spacecraft docking experiment called Spadex experiment. On 30th December, you all know you were with us. Under tense moment, we placed 2 Spadex satellites along with 24 poem payloads in the orbit. And today I am extremely happy to report that all the 24 PM payloads have perfectly worked and given the result. And these 2 satellites were rotating with a speed of 28,400 kilometers per hour in space, 28,400 kilometers per hour, with relative velocity, of course, less. And this has to be brought together and docked. You can imagine in Delhi road, assume 2 cars are traveling with 100 kilometers per hour speed, and both have to soft way, you have to synchronized way, you have to dock. What type of difficulty probably you can visualize. Here, 28,400 kilometers per hour spacecraft is rotating and using a set of hardware, software, cameras. I'm extremely happy to report that January 16, we successfully docked, and March 13th, we undocked, and India became one among 4 countries demonstrating this important technology. Also, the second docking was done on 20th April. Second docking was done like a child play. First docking, we took a lot of time. Second docking, like a child play, the team really executed. Probably later you can discuss with URO Satellite Center Director, Sankaran. He was full-time there along with the team. Of course, we were all there, but he was full-time there. You can talk to him. And I want to tell you one thing. We accounted 10 kg propellant for this purpose. Today, with 5 kg of propellant, the entire mission objective is completed, and we are left out with 5 more kg, and we are going to do a lot of experiment in the future. One important thing what we have done, originally what we didn't plan was a circumnavigation. One satellite is rotating, second satellite going around and monitoring. And this will be used for multiple purposes, including propellant transfer, including repair of this one, and strategic applications. This will be useful. This is successfully demonstrated. It's a really an outstanding work done by Indian team. Current status of the Spadex satellites, as I told, 50% propellant is left out. And we are meticulously planning a lot of experiments. Maybe another 6 months we are going to do experiment and accumulate wealth of data. And behind this success, you should know so much theoretical and experimental studies are done. In eyesight, Bangalore, there is an experimental setup, a simulation setup is made. I want to tell more than thousands of simulations we have carried out before doing actual attempt, and that has yielded outstanding results. And with that, I can say, in simple terms, the entire the Spadex objectives met with 50% of the cost. Remaining is available. We will meticulously plan a lot of experiments. This docking experiment is going to be used for multiple places. You all know about Chandrayaan 4. Honorable Minister very nicely explained in the Parliament House and multiple places. Chandrayaan 3 is a soft landing. The satellite was around 4,000 kg. Here it is 9,600 kg is the satellite. We are going to lift through 2 of our vehicles. And after taking, we have to dock, then it has to go to moon, and something has to get undocked. We have to land on the moon, take sample, come back. It is a basically sample return mission. Come back, get docked and come. Basically, there will be 2 undocking and 3 dockings are involved. And for this, whatever we have developed, this crucial technology is a mandate requirement that is going to be useful. Building the space station, when you are talking about 5 modules, the docking and somebody going and getting docked and undocked, I think this technology is going to yield result. And of course, Honorable Prime Minister has also given a direction to study for taking man to moon and put them safely by 2040 and bring them back safely. For that, also, this experiment is going to be useful. Thereby, I want to summarize. The Spadex experiment is a grand, successful experiment. Unfortunately, we could not get all of you. That is one of the reasons you are all here today. And I wanted Honorable Minister also along with us to celebrate. And today, we want to declare it is 100% perfect, successful mission. And we are having 50% propellant left out. Coming to next aspect, the Indians to space. You know, we are talking about, when you talk about the Gaganyaan program, basically the interfacing human being along with the hardware and software. And one thing, what happened in the past, 1984, was a historical year. And the wing commander, Rajesh Sharma, I think his name is known to all of you. He was sent to space by Government of India for a week, 3 to 11, he was there. And today, I am extremely happy he is with us, sharing this entire experience involved in the review process. Thereby, his expertise, whatever Government of India spent money, the entire expertise is useful for our Gaganyaan program. Coming to next one, our Honorable Prime Minister, really, I think we cannot praise him, but then we have to really appreciate and really we have to salute his country, his thinking. Joined ISRO NASA effort to International Space Station. This is his vision and idea. And thereby, an announcement was made by Honorable Prime Minister in June 2023. One of our Gaganyaan will go to first time International Space Station. And this is going to happen. In fact, we selected 2 Gaganyaan. Both were put through the training. One person, Captain Sukla, is likely to be the prime crew, and the standby mode, BB Nair, Group Captain BB Nair is kept as the standby person. And this mission is going to be done by first week of June. Once the date is announced, the Honorable Minister will inform all of you the exact date. And right now the date is not fixed. It will happen during first week of June this year. And they are going to do some 10 experiments. And experiments today, we need not dwell much. Can you go to the next slide? These are all the experiments they are going to do. There will be biological experiments, there will be STEM experiment, there will be some science experiments. There are 9 experiments what is scheduled. Basically, this program is going to give confidence for the Gaganyatris. They will get experience how to handle the situation, how to work with others, how to really undergo proper training, how to carry out experiments. And this also is going to feed for our Gaganyaan program. The key is Indian Human Spaceflight Program announced by Honorable Prime Minister. So the entire thing is going to feed towards that. And dear friends, India is emerging as a partner in global space exploration. And today we are gradually becoming world leadership role in the space program. And I am extremely happy to announce along with the Honorable Minister, we are hosting the Global Space Exploration Conference, GLEX 2025, for the first time in the world. And that is going to happen in the same city, New Delhi. Starting from tomorrow, 3 days, this conference is going to happen. And India, a rising partner in global space exploration. Honorable Prime Minister has given the necessary approvals to conduct this conference. And this is jointly organized by IAF, International Astronautical Federation, ISRO, a key host, and ASI as a co-host. And about IAF, it was founded in 1951. There are 407 members from 71 countries involved in the game. About ISRO, you all know, we are the premier organization carrying out the space research. Of course, now Honorable Prime Minister has rolled out the space sector reform. Startup companies are also coming inside. About Astronautical Society of India, it is founded in 1990 to foster the development of astronautics in the country. All the 3 together, we are organizing this conference. And IAF conducts annual global conference under various themes. And this year theme of this conference is reaching new worlds, a space exploration Renaissance is the team which is going to happen in New Delhi in Yoshwabhumi Convention Center, Dwarka. I think I request all of you to participate in tomorrow inaugural function where Honorable Minister will be there and the inaugural function will happen. And there are 1275 abstracts from 57 countries we have received. This is the highest abstract ever received in this type of conference. There are 822 abstracts from India, 562 abstracts from students, 453 abstracts from other countries, almost 35%. 453 is a huge number. Let me thank the organizing committee chairman, co-chairman, the entire team. Something around 1,800 to 2,000 participants are going to participate. Very important thing is we have given opportunity to participate. Almost 550 students are going to participate because it is our responsibility to inculcate scientific temper in this country for making this country as a developed country. That is one of the objectives we have set. And it is going to be a 3-day program. First day there will be inaugural function tomorrow, and with very interesting plenary talks. Second day there are plenary talks. Third day there are highlights of the lot of lectures are going to be there. There will be interactive thing, including interaction with some of the astronauts, international astronauts. This is a very key thing. Say, we are always keeping in mind the Gaganyaan program success in the first attempt. Towards that, this is also scheduled. We have brought something around 10 astronauts from different parts of the country. There will be interaction meetings. This also will feed for our Gaganyaan program. And I think all the names are there. You will get the opportunity to interact with them. And to summarize, the learning towards Gaganyaan program, of course, we have got grip on the hardware through the development of the launcher, through the development of satellites, through the build of the ground infrastructure, and the human-rated launch vehicle is getting developed, orbital module is getting developed. For all this development, along with that, the human interface is involved. For this, there will be data feeding from the Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma, his program, and AX-4 mission, what is scheduled in the first week of June, that is going to feed. Then interaction with astronauts like this in these conferences are going to feed the data. And ISRO is a teamwork. You all know 20,000 employees in Department of Space and industrial partners. Something around 20,000 people are at least working in the industries and academia. It's a teamwork. It is very difficult to isolate somebody that he has done or he has done. But I have just projected all the all the directors of the centers. I think a couple of the people are here, 2 people are not there. So their photographs are just flashed for your reference. And next, we are, you know, the department, Honorable Prime Minister is the minister for us. To be frank, we are getting so much excited technical guidance from him, outstanding managerial support, and the vision we are getting from Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji. And under his leadership, last 10 years, you have seen the numbers in launcher or in satellites. Exponential growth is happening. Space sector reform is rolled out under his leadership. Not only that, the human spaceflight program is announced by him, and we are working towards that. And Honorable Minister Jitendra Singh ji, a great person, he is with us today, and always, weekly basis, he reviews and gives enough guidance, enough motivation, enough support in the difficult phase as well as happy phase. He is with us. Sir, I have to thank on behalf of my entire team. Let us give a big hand to Honorable Minister on this occasion for your outstanding support. Yes, whenever success, we know you will be there. Whenever there are difficult phases, you are with us like our own brother. So let me salute you on this occasion. With that, I want to tell, to summarize, last year we have done outstanding work. This year, January 6th, we have rolled out the Aditya L1 data to the scientific community. 5 terabyte data is rolled out. January 16th, we had done the docking. January 16th is another important day. Honorable Government of India gave approval for building the 3rd launch pad. 4,000 crore approval was given to us. January 29th is a historical day. The 100th launch was made perfectly successful, and golden letters we have written in Indian history. The 100th ISRO launch was successful. And space docking experiment is made perfectly successful. Behind that, so many people have worked, and thousands of hours, sleepless nights have gone. With that, let me once again thank Honorable Prime Minister for his outstanding guidance and vision, and the Honorable Minister for his support and direction and togetherness whenever we are in the happy occasion as well as when we are in the difficult phase. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. And I now request Honorable Minister, sir.
One second. Okay. Now we will have a small video clipping followed by the address by Honorable. Because continuously I am speaking, you should not get bored. So we thought better to show the video. Then the Honorable Prime Minister will speak. Please go ahead with the video of Gaganyaan first and Julius.
मां भारत का कोई संतान, चाहे बेटा हो या बेटी, कोई भी हो सकता है, वे अंतरिक्ष में जाएंगे, हाथ में तिरंगा झंडा लेकर के जाएंगे।
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lift off.
The Gaganyaan project of ISRO is a giant leap forward, our nation's first human spaceflight mission. This ambitious mission aims to send Indian astronauts into orbit at an altitude of 400 kilometers for 1 to 3 days and return them safely to Earth. Before the manned flight, ISRO is conducting several key test missions, including the integrated airdrop test, pad abort test, and test vehicle flights. These unmanned missions will ensure all systems meet the highest safety and reliability standards.
2035 तक अंतरिक्ष में भारत का अपना स्पेस स्टेशन होगा, जो हमें स्पेस के अज्ञात विस्तार को जानने में मदद करेगा.
In April 1984, Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma became the first Indian to travel to space, spending 7 days aboard the Salyut 7 space station. His expertise continues to guide the Gaganyaan mission. Soon, Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla will become the first Indian to travel to the International Space Station. His work in microgravity experiments will directly support future missions, including the Bhartiya Antariksh Station. In order to develop technologies required for human exploration to outer space, ISRO embarked up on the very successful Spadex mission. 2 satellites were successfully docked and undocked multiple times, and power transfer was done between satellites. The above mission demonstrated technologies which is required for future human spaceflight missions. As part of GLEX 2025, an astronaut outreach program will feature 9 astronauts interacting with participants. These sessions will inspire and nurture the next generation of Indian space explorers. The future of space is Indian, and it begins now.
It began with fire, a flicker in the darkness,
मां भारत का कोई संतान,
yearning to explore what lies beyond. Humanity gazed at the hills, at the skies, at life. It began with fire to star maps, from rivers to realms unknown, yearning to explore what lies beyond. Humanity gazed at the hills, at the skies. As time flew, we dreamed from stone tools to star maps. We built from rivers to realms unknown. We moved, the fire of curiosity burned bright, and with every step, our story grew. We challenged gravity. As time flew, we dreamed from satellite to a human space flight. We built to footsteps on the moon. Our journey, the fire of curiosity burned bright, and with every step, our story grew. We challenged gravity. Now, from the first satellite to a human space flight, a land that has never been bound by the to footsteps on the moon. Our journey into space has been relentless. Witness the dawn of a new era. At the Global Space Exploration Conference, India, 2025, a land that has never been bound by the 2025. The International Astronautical Federation Exploration, dawn of ISRO and ASI welcome you to GLEX 2025 at the Global Space Exploration Conference 2025. GLEX 2025, the heart of India, New Delhi. The International Astronautical Federation, ISRO, and ASI welcome you to GLEX 2025. Nations collaborate to push the boundaries of exploration. As one species, for 3 days, the heart of India, minds, missions, New Delhi, and visionaries will become the epicenter of global space dialogue. GLEX 2025 nations collaborate to push the boundaries of exploration. As one species, a gathering of fostering innovation, missions, and visionaries, and inspiring the next generation of explorers. GLEX 2025 today is a platform for forging international partnerships. We explore together, fostering innovation path we walked, and forward to the stars, and inspiring the next generation of explorers. Today, we build together. We explore together. We look back on the path we walked and forward to the stars we've yet to reach.
This year, it's my honor to 9 astronauts GLEX 2025, a landmark event that showcases India's growing leadership in global space special outreach event, more so conducted over the last 1 decade under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Prime Minister this year, Modi has 9 astronauts Space Vision 2047 GLEX from various countries and using this designed to position India as a global special outreach in space exploration conducted for the benefit of students. As you may be aware, we look forward to Prime Minister Narendra Modi has granted India's Space Vision 2047 an inclusive roadmap designed to position India as a global leader in space exploration and space utilization.
My pleasure to welcome you to the
And may I conclude saying that we look forward to making GLEX 2025 a grand
We're here
success
for the next 3 days
and
to talk about
indeed a milestone
global planning
in
and
India's
exploration programs
space
on a
journey.
massive scale. We invite
I'm
the
Clay Moore,
scientists, the
President of the
engineers, the
International
policymakers, and the
Astronautical
space
Federation.
agency representatives. It's my pleasure to come together with industry to discuss the challenges that are set forward here for us to explore. We're here for the next 3 days to talk about global planning and exploration programs on a massive scale. We invite the scientists, the engineers, the policymakers, and the space agency representatives to come together with industry to discuss the challenges that are set forward here for
GLEX
us to explore
2025 is not
space
just
in the
another
universe.
conference. It is a momentous occasion where some of the brightest minds in space exploration, scientists, engineers, policymakers, entrepreneurs, and visionaries from over 50 nations. GLEX 2025 is not just another conference. Save the future. It is a momentous occasion. New boundaries. Some of the brightest minds in space exploration, as one scientists, engineers, policymakers, entrepreneurs,
unites
and
under one
visionaries
cosmic
from
sky.
over 50 nations will
GLEX
unite.
2025,
Together,
the next
we will
great
save the
leap
future,
for mankind.
push new boundaries, and explore the unknowns of the universe as one global community.
The world unites under one cosmic sky. GLEX 2025, the next great leap for mankind.
To address the gathering.
Chairman ISRO and Secretary Department of Space, Dr. Narayanan, Mrs. Singh, all the senior members of the team ISRO, colleagues from the Department of Space, and of course, our very precious media friends. I think my first thought is that Dr. Narayanan has done so much of talking. In fact, he's also done the ministerial talk, so there's hardly left anything for me to talk. So, but one quick observation, if I can make, he concluded saying that referring to me that he's a good human being and he's a good minister. And I hope the media friends would trust what he said. So, nevertheless, very kind of him. I think having said that, overall I don't need to repeat because everything has been put to you across very sequentially in a chronological order. But what actually makes this happen and what is made the difference in the recent times is, and what I would say the watershed moment in the journey of ISRO or the space journey of India was opening up of the space sector to the private players, which was something which was quite unimaginable, and most of us had reconciled to work in silos and work in isolation as we were. We got used to it, we got conditioned to it. There was hardly any demand actually. And in fact, on the 26th of May 2014, this government was sworn in for the first time. And the very first week we had one of the PSLV launchings. And Dr. Radhakrishnan was the chairman, who also happened to be known to me otherwise. So I was at Sriharikota in the middle of night. He said, "Doc, I'll take you to a place where even my scientists are prohibited." It was such a restricted zone. And that was the launching site. So we went there because the launch had to happen at about 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning. So after that, I told Dr. Radhakrishnan, I said, "Radha, I made a principle for myself to learn one new thing every day. What I learned today is that to reach this spot, either one should be as eminent a scientist as you are, or somehow manage to become a minister of space." But then what kept bothering me, and I kept repeatedly also broaching this subject, that why are we keeping this wheel of secrecy in a time and age where everything is known to everybody? And possibly this is not also very conducive and compatible with our growth. And I'm extremely, extremely grateful to Honorable Prime Minister that when the suggestion was put across to him, he was the first one to not only let us go, but also facilitate the participation of the private players. And I think one of the most structured PPP model apparatus within the country, or maybe even for others to follow it, has been constructed in the Department of Space. We have an interface called InSpace, which facilitates collaboration between the public sector and the private sector, and also on the various wings within the public sector, both domestically as well as internationally. And then we have a public sector company in place called New Space India Limited, which is meant for partnering with the private company. And this model actually is now being sought after by other areas, other sectors also, which are looking for PPP models in a successful manner. And much of the achievements that have happened in the last few years are actually representative of the whole of science. Though ISRO is going to launch this Gaganyaan, but it's not ISRO alone. We must acknowledge the contribution made by virtually all the IITs, primarily the first 5 IITs of the country, the Indian Institute of Sciences, the Tata Institute in Mumbai. Virtually every leading institute in this country has contributed one way or the other, by way of equipment, by way of expertise. And so also the private sector, as I'm referring to some of the Tata Institutes also. And therefore, this is truly a whole of science and also whole of government. And as we, the scientific fraternity, are taught not to speak without evidence, when I say whole of government, what Dr. Narayanan also could have added to what he said is that we will have an equally critical participation of the naval forces, the naval guards, in accomplishing the success of Gaganyaan. So sending up a human being into a space is very fascinating, very romantic. It carries a lot of charisma with it. But equally important is to get him back or her back safe wherever we decide to land him or her in the waters. And there we will have the other people also. And in the last few years, we have had a very close coordination, and I must acknowledge the Naval Guards and the Indian Navy also for their participation. They are also contributing in our other missions like Deep Sea Mission. Incidentally, what I was trying, and it's though it might be an ambitious thought, but I was talking to Secretary Earth Sciences, because 2026 we hope to launch the Gaganyaan, and the same year we hope to have an immersible deep sea mission. So one Indian into the space and one Indian deep sea, almost simultaneously happening. And there also we have solicited the support, the cooperation of the Navy experts. In fact, we have one or two officers stationed over there permanently in our institute in Chennai is doing that. So this will be going to be quite a fascinating year, next year, 2026 for India, when we venture into the space and also discover the deep sea. The other part of it, which is of course not covered in the slides, of course, because he had to do the updating, is that when we talk of the economic growth of India, we come from fragile 5 to first 5, and we look forward to getting 4, 3, and then reaching the top by 2047. Have we ever scientifically thought, most of us being the ones with the scientific background, how is that going to happen? Where is the value going to come from? It sounds good saying, and whenever each one of us says so, the media is also kind enough to cover it. But nobody asks us, where is value? Suppose I go home and tell my spouse, look here, next month I am going to be a multi-millionaire. Will she not ask me, where are you going to, which bank are you going to rob or loot to get there? So the value addition is going to come from these 4 sources. Our ocean source is one. We have nearly 1,000 to 1,100 kilometer long coastal area, which has remained totally virgin, totally unexplored. So thanks again to this Prime Minister. Just as Dr. Narayana was showing that clipping of Prime Minister announcing the Gaganyaan from the ramparts of Red Fort, the deep sea mission was announced by him not once but twice consecutively, 2 Independence Days. And the idea was that the message goes home to the common citizen to realize what it's all about. It's just not diving into the sea. We have a huge, huge wealth, minerals, metals, fisheries, biodiversities. The other day I was telling in a lighter vein to some of the officers in the mining ministry, I said, a day may come you might have to appoint an officer to check illegal mining in the seabed. And that's why our ancestors named this ocean as the Indian Ocean, because they were conscious of the huge wealth lying inside. So that, you know, in the old times, you must have heard of the grandma stories where you didn't have the banking system. So they would plant, they would, you know, dig a hole and store all your wealth there, and then plant a tree there, so that someday you would come and sit inside under the tree, the shadow, and then notice that there's something dug over there. So that's why possibly they named this as Hind Mahasagar, so that we could realize. And I was telling the other day, a delegation from Australia, I said, you have a country called Australia, an island called Australia, a continent called Australia, but not an ocean called Australian Ocean. So this is my country. So we are going to, and space is the other. Of course, that was not mentioned in the slide because that was not his subject this afternoon. We have started making very rapid strides in space economy. We were just negligible. As you were saying, we were 1-digit startup. We are now more than 300. And this has happened just within 2-3 years. I mean, look at the magic of opening up and moving in tech. We are currently about 8 to 9 billion US dollars. It's about 8.4. But the pace of our rise is happening so fast that in just next 8 or 9 years, we hope to go 5 times to almost 44 billion US dollars. So this is actually not only adding to the scientific missions, both the deep sea mission as well as the space ventures, but this is also going to hugely, hugely contribute to the overall economic growth of India in the years to come and contribute to the making of the Viksit Bharat. Then the other part is, this is the success of all these ventures is going to give rise to newer streams of research, study, also possibly entrepreneurship in the times to come. I know how many of you would be aware, because the fault lies because we don't get opportunities to interact with you so often on these subjects. We have, I suggested this to the Secretary of Biotechnology, and he was kind enough. We have entered into a formal MOU between the Department of Space and the Department of Biotechnology. And I was telling at a doctor's meet only 2 days back, I said very soon you will have a specialty called space medicine, and possibly an MD in space medicine. So they look back at me, and I tell you honestly, when we were undergraduates, sports medicine was an emerging area, and nobody took it seriously. क्या होता है sports में? Fracture हो जाता है, बांध देते हैं. And now sports medicine is one of the lucrative areas in the medical profession. Each team, whether it's athletics, Olympics, is accompanied by a battery of. So similarly, also you will also have a space physician accompanying these astronauts when they go for the ventures. Maybe that is happening. So we are actually opening up so many new areas through these ventures. It's not going to happen in isolation. And of course, India has also created a model of cost-effective missions. That's something else that we need to emphasize. Our missions are just about 1/4 of the cost of the corresponding missions by the others. If my Chandrayaan was just about 600 crore, is 4 times lesser than the corresponding Russian mission, which of course couldn't meet the expected success which we had launched. Similarly, this is just 10,000 Gaganyaan. The entire, is that right? Just 10,000 crore is the entire cost, and less than the number of words spoken by Dr. Narayanan this afternoon. Yes. And Mars, as we also said that time, the per kilometer was lesser than the per kilometer charged by a three-wheeler in Delhi. So this is another, because we have an added skill. Our startups, our researchers are also good entrepreneurs, and they also have their invention aptitude is not limited only to the lab, it's also the jugaad. So why do we take so much time? Because we negotiate with the gravitational forces. We take round circles like this, small circle, then big circle, then big, and then finally shoot into the, or we don't move like a bullet train. So we spend more time. It's like, in the olden times when you purchased a car after a lifetime saving, you look for the next slope to put it on neutral. So that is another model that India has come for. A third, because of course everything has been said about the skies, sometimes the cynics say, what are you going to gain out of this? But I think the message for them is that India has also created the Department of Space in India has also created a model of using our space technologies for extra rocket initiatives. Most of India's flagship programs the last 10 years after Prime Minister Modi has come in have a plenty of involvement of the space technology. We have this Gati Shakti for the project. We have Swamitva program, where you do the farming, mapping of the farms, the land, through drones and space technology combined together. You have the smart cities, nearly 50 smart cities under Amrut are using hugely space technology. You have the railway crossing, unmanned railway crossings. In fact, when a series of accidents happened about 6-7 years back, we were the ones who suggested to the colleagues in railway, look here, we have a technology by which you can detect a possible or a potential obstructive object a few kilometers away by way of satellite imaging. Health, we are using it in such a manner that most of our telemedicine projects are now being hailed even by the other countries. Agriculture, we have done in agriculture what hardly has been done by other countries. We have soil health card, we have mapping of the satellites. So I think in virtually every infrastructure development, roads, buildings, disaster management. We have created a role model of how best, and that is actually the true vindication of what Sarabhai said. Sarabhai said that space is meant for nation building. So we are actually building. And this missions in the sky or in the space also have to be seen in that context, because unless you land a human being there, or unless you show your capability of exploring the space, you would not be acknowledged by the other competing nations. So it's just like you could be masters in kabaddi, masters in gulli danda, but the Australia would accept you only when you beat them in cricket. So that's how it is happening now. So all this is going to raise India's esteem, raise India's economy, and also going to give us the skill and the experience of using our technology in various other spheres. So I think a lot much of talking has already been done. We will then interact with you, whatever you say. And also, yes, and India for the first time is, our capabilities are now being acknowledged by others. That's itself an evidence of the fact that the Shukla is going there. It was during Prime Minister's visit to DC sometime last year, or before last year, when President Biden was there. And the suggestion came from that side, that we should have an Indian astronaut accompanying them, which means that the value and the acumen and the capabilities, the expertise of the Indian brain is also started being accepted, because we as youngsters have grown through those times where many of the Indians were hesitant of even giving their full introduction over there. So, yeah, he wants me to talk about Nisar launch. You've already spoken about, yes. Again, what he wants, of course, he is hinting at that also as offer has come from there. So they are now jointly doing this with ISRO, which means they have the confidence that ISRO can add value to their mission. And amazing, ISRO was born officially in 1969, though we started venturing into space earlier, but the official establishment of ISRO happened in 1969, which is the year gone down in the history as Neil Armstrong's year, when he landed on the surface of Moon and made that famous statement, one small step for man and a giant step for mankind. And today, the same NASA is soliciting our collaboration. So thank you very much, and please remember what Dr. Narayanan said. I'm not as bad as some of you may be thinking.
Thank you, sir. Sir, now can we take some questions, please? Yeah. 39, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Anil Handa, Atulya Bharat News and Loktantra Kishan. On ESG parameters, I would like to know, what would you like to say on ESG parameters, the whole project? And the second question is, on commercial terms, if I would like to scrutinize, or you would like to play a figure in between 1 to 10, so where do we stand?
First, let me pick up the commercial aspect. For a mission of this type, sending our own human being to the space and bringing them back safely, as Honorable Minister told, the original approved project was something around 10,000 crore is the total amount. And then, India strongly believes in low-cost access to space. What we did was, first we picked up the well-proven Mark III vehicle as the baseline vehicle. Generally, people develop a new vehicle, but here we picked up that vehicle and we have done the human rating of that vehicle. Human rating, as I told, it is nothing but adding redundancy, improving the margins, structural margin, thermal margin, and all the margins, and thereby you improve the reliability. So this approach of selecting Mark III vehicle, LVM3 vehicle, going for human rating, really that saved us a lot of money, at least 50% to 60% money, something around, I can say approximately 4,000 crore we have saved there itself. Yes, a proven vehicle only improve the margin. So thereby, that is one aspect. And second thing is, wherever we have done the design, for example, crew escape system, the solid propulsion we are master. We could have gone to some other system also. We picked up that and improved the performance over that. So thereby, when you talk about a program like this 10,000 to 10,000 crore, of course, little more. Now when you come to H2, another 3,000 crore will be added to that. And this is, I will say, compared to any other developed country, this whatever we are spending for this program is maybe less than 20%. My first cut assessment, and that is because of the innovative approach of modular concepts. That's what I would like to see. Now Minister will add further to that. Your first question is not very clear to me. If you could repeat, probably I will handle. Otherwise, we will address later.
We are signatory to COP. So ESG matters, economically sustainable goals. Where are we on that?
I think that's what I was trying to suggest, that this is not only kind of an experimentation happening for the sake of experiment. It is also hugely going to make an economic difference. And therefore, it's going to be a sustainable economic model, adding value to the overall economy of the country. And that's what I was trying to tell you in the terms of figures, that we have started growing very fast. And I think that's also largely because of the opening of this sector to the private sector. And then when we talk of economy, we don't talk of economy only in the terms of the money in the kitty of the Department of Space. We talk of the economy as a whole. So a lot of our private players, our first generation startups, are now rolling in millions, just within 2-3 months. I think one of the first was Skyroot. Those boys have opened up a huge factory, the first time in India in private sector, manufacturing rockets. So that too is a part of the economy of the country as a whole.
Sure.
So when if we look at that, now in the terms of the infrastructure that I was referring to, roads, buildings, construction, we are saving time because of the space technology. Disaster management. So money saved, money not allowed to waste is also money saving. We are averting so many of disaster possibilities and potential disasters. So space technology is adding to economy collaterally as well. Not only in the terms of rockets and the space missions, which of course, as I said, is almost 1/4 of the cost, but overall, which may not be very visible, but when we add the economy of the country as a whole, when we calculate, that will make a difference.
To add to Minister, a couple of more points I would like to add. For example, take this program. You may be thinking that we are sending human beings to space and bring them back safely. But then, what are all the benefits it brings? We have to produce zero defect products. That is going to really change the situation of the country in multiple areas. And there is job opportunities. Technology spin-offs, for example, shock-resistant automobile seats. When the astronauts are coming back, there should be shock-resistant material we have to develop. And bio-waste medical monitoring. And liquid-cooled garment used in firefighting area. And foods with long shelf life. A lot of benefits are, the spin-offs are going to happen. It is not only, we should not address only one aspect. It is
24.
Good afternoon. I'm Srishti Chaudhary from CNN News 18. So my question is regards to the second test vehicle flight of Gaganyaan. When is it likely to happen? And will that push the first uncrewed flight to next year? Is what I wanted to clarify. Second, I also wanted to know about, are we planning more space docking experiments ahead of our lunar mission, which is likely to happen in 2028, considering this year it took a lot of technical challenges?
No, I think that this been partly answered also by in his presentation. The first part is that, of course, we are having a series of test flights because the different test flights are dedicated to test the different kind of functions. So we have a crew model, we have a safety module, we have the lab module. So they are different test flights. But finally, of course, we'll have final flight, which could be other words in simple terms could be referred to as a dress rehearsal, just as you have before the Republic Day. So that will be Vayomitra, where the idea of sending a robo, which incidentally is going to be a female robo, is that she would perform like a human being. So she'll perform every task which is expected to be performed by the human being when he travels up. after that is accomplished successfully, then the next challenge, or not challenge, I would say, rather the trial would be to get her safe. So get her safe in spite of being a robo, as safe as if she was a live human being. And after that is accomplished, then we would have the confidence of sending up the human being. And that, I think, the biomethod may happen by the end of this year.
260?
25 end. And Gaganyaan next year. And of course, as you said about docking, it's a continuous process, docking, undocking, docking, undocking. And this is, in fact, going to also help accomplishing our future missions like space station, as you mentioned, or the human landing on the surface. Now, for example, in the space station, when you set up the astronauts, they have to enter into that. They have to place it there. So it's like, you're making a gateway, an entrance, and also an exit. So that docking and undocking is a part. The Chandrayaan will have multiple dockings. It will, in fact, the load is very heavy, Chandrayaan 4. So it will have 2 launching, sites, which is called shacks, shack 1, shack 2. And it will have 5 components, 3 from one, 2 from other. Then they go up, then they join, then up somewhere they separate. Then out of 2, 2 of them come down on the surface of moon. One collects the material, go back, joins that one. That comes here. Then there's a transport module. Then there's a return module. And by the time it comes back, all these 5 have performed their different tasks and moved their different ways. What returns back is just about 20% of the total weight you sent. Because when you were sending them, you were very heavy, so that you have to have 2 shacks. So and all that docking and undocking is actually going to create experience, the cumulative experience for accomplishing this Bharat Antariksh Station mission.
So Jacob, one second, to add to this, of course, to your question, some more experiment we are going to do in the Spadex, plus Spadex 2 we are going to have, and there multiple experiments are planned.
And this navigation docking which is mentioned, it's like this, one rocket is moving and another is moving along with this. So it's keeping a surveillance and also, if required, uniting with it and picking up things.
Sir, Jacob Koshi from the Hindu newspaper. I have 3 brief questions. First is, I have read reports that our forthcoming Axiom mission, India is paying $60 million for that. So I want to confirm if that's true. Second, do we have a firm launch date for the Nisar satellite mission? And thirdly, if Dr. Narayan could just explain briefly, what are the broad differences between the LMV-3 vehicle that we will be using and the low Earth orbit rockets that are used by Blue Origin or Virgin Atlantic for their missions? Thank you.
Okay. Coming to the first question, you asked about the money spent. Yes, because for this type of mission, including training, everything put together, approximately 550 crore is the type of money what is going to be spent. But then the benefit what we are going to get is phenomenal in terms of experience in training, in terms of getting exposure to the facilities, and in terms of carrying out a joint work and going to the space and doing experiments and coming back, and a lot of things are coming. Second thing is, you asked a specific question on the NISR mission date. The current status is like this: the satellite, the half of the payload has come from NASA, half of the payload from us, and the entire satellite bus is built by us. Today, the satellite is fully built and cleared, ready for launch. Vehicle, all the items are realized, vehicle is getting built, and the exact date of launch is yet to be decided, but it is likely to happen by June end or July first week. That is the type of tentative dates, and the government of India will take the appropriate decision, and finally the date will be finalized. Coming to the last one, the LVM-3 vehicle versus human-rated LVM-3 vehicle, the differences are very simple like this. Basically, the LVM-3 vehicle to human-rated LVM-3 vehicle, we have to build additional margins in terms of structure, in terms of thermal, in terms of all other aspects, and we have to have additional redundancies, and also we have to improve the reliability. Now, I will tell you how we have built the additional margin. Now, you take No, it is basically, yeah, I understand. So basically, we are not totally following them, and we have designed our own system, but keeping the functionality almost same.
143. Vallabhji.
Namaskar, Dr. Jitendra Singh and Dr. Narayanan. Two questions, one each for Dr. Narayanan and one for Dr. Singh. Dr. Narayanan, in your opinion, is the Falcon 9 Crew Dragon a safe spacecraft and ship? And what is your plan B and C for bringing our astronaut back in case something happens like what happened to astronaut Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore? And shall I ask the second question to Dr. Singh also? All right. Dr. Singh, a broader question to you. सर, पहलगाम के बाद हम पहली बारी मिल रहे हैं आपसे. आपके पास दो अहम डिपार्टमेंट हैं, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ स्पेस और डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एटॉमिक एनर्जी. कहा जाता है कि अगली जंग जो है वो अंतरिक्ष में होगी और हो सकता है परमाणु बम यूज किया जाए. पाकिस्तान बारी बारी हमको परमाणु बम से थ्रेटन करता है. कि आपकी नज़र में हमारे दोनों डिपार्टमेंट सक्षम हैं आने वाले जंग के जिसके कि बादल हमारे ऊपर मंडरा रहे हैं?
Now, before you take up the first question, thanks for being very democratic, Pallav, because you made sure that I don't complain that I was not addressed a question. But I think I'm not qualified to answer what you asked me. So I conveniently pass on to Dr. Narayanan.
Okay, coming to your question, Falcon 9 and Blue Dragon, I have full confidence on both vehicle as well as the module, what is selected. Because why I am making this statement is, the vehicle is really highly reliable vehicle. There is no doubt on that. Coming to the module also, probably you are having in mind what happened to Sunita Williams and why it happened. And basically there was a thruster heating. I think you may be knowing 5 thrusters in the module which is supposed to go there and get docked. 5 thrusters, the temperature rise was more. In fact, I want to tell, you may be knowing, I don't know, you are not knowing or not knowing. Same problem. 1 year back, when we did our testing, we had the temperature rise. And then we have addressed what is the reason for temperature rise. Out of 2 propellant components, when one fluid is going less, the temperature rise happened, and we have taken care in the design. Probably what was missing there is a little more testing would have revealed in the ground itself. And here we have gone through, we have discussed with them, such a problem is not going to happen because it is having enough redundancies, enough adequacies. And number one, the temperature rise I'm not expecting because the way they have done the testing and qualification, that has not revealed any of these things. And so with our limited, not limited knowledge, with our better knowledge on this system, I'm quite confident on that. Of course, 1 in billion case something happens, I am sure the NASA and US has got enough plans and enough modules to bring them back safely. Thereby, I'm very, very confident that number one, things will not go out of control. And then
165, please.
Yeah, sir.
Hi sir, just wanted to check, my name is Tapash Bhattacharya from Doordarshan. Just wanted to check what is the current mission budget of the Gaganyaan, and is there any timeline for the Bharatiya Administration that we have, and if Indian crewed mission, is there any timeline for that also?
I think budget, of course, we spoke of. The initial was 10,000 crore.
Is there any increase?
Yeah, initially it might, go up. That's different, but that's the bottom line, most of it. And Bharat Antariksha Station, as of today, our schedule is 2035, and Indian human on the surface of moon 2040. But sometimes the schedules, of course, keep changing, but that's what it is now. Like, for example, Gaganyaan, initially we had planned for much earlier. In fact, our very ambitious dream was to time it with the 75 years of India's independence, but that couldn't happen because of the imponderable like COVID. And in fact, all these astronauts were undergoing a training there in the Gregori Institute in Moscow, and they had to be called back. So,
with respect to budget, one second. With respect to budget, let me just clarify one point. As Honorable Minister rightly told, Initially, we were supposed to have 2 uncrewed mission and 1 crewed mission. Only for 3 missions, the accounted budget was 10,000 crore. Is it clear? Now we are having totally a continuation program is also there. 8 missions, including 3 uncrewed, 2 crewed, then 3 more missions, precursor for BAs. For 8 missions, around 20,000 crore is accounted. Thereby, if you look back, for the original 3 missions, it is same 10,000 crore or little, maybe 5% this way, that way.
214, then 17, then 9, and then Anirudh ji yours.
Good afternoon, Dr. Singh. Sir, Rahul Singh this side from Hindustan Times. Sir, we spoke about the swift strides we've made in the space sector in the last 3 to 4 decades, and the targets we've set for ourselves in the near future. So, but our neighbor in the same time frame of the last 3.5 decades has only been sending terrorist infiltrators across the border and not people to space. Sir, is there something they can learn from us? What is your message to them, sir?
Sorry, I didn't get you. Learn from?
Sir, I said we've made a lot of strides over the last 3-4 decades in the space sector, and we have a lot of kind of milestones ahead of us as well. But our neighbor in the same time frame of 30 to 40 years, 35 years, has only been sending terrorist infiltrators across the border while we are sending people to space. Is there something they can learn from us? Do you have something to say to them?
I think who is better, placed to perform that task than the learner media friends who enjoy the prerogative of writing editorials or writing all sorts of Sunday pieces. You should be educated.
Dr. Narayan, this is Kalyan from Deccan Herald.